Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for December 22nd, 2019. Lots of great stuff to talk about, and we're going to get right into this, so let's not waste any time. So the first thing I want to say is that I have sensed a disturbance in the force. And that disturbance is that 90% of the news is not G1. It's something other than G1. And I'm kind of sensing this end of G1. And I don't like it. But you know what? I have full control of this news. So I can do a recap of G1 stuff before we get into all the new news. And I'm going to start this with these Roadmaster. So on the left here, you see DX9. On the right, you see the X-Transbots version of the Minosaur Roadmaster. And what I want to talk about with these guys is the fact that, well, DX9's shipping right now. X-Transbots should ship very soon. By the way, the goal of Keith is to hit before the Chinese New Year so you could get it before all that crazy mess of nothing shipping and nothing going out and kind of clogging up the distribution channels. So that thing should hit soon too. I know people in the States are starting to get some of these DX9, but looking at them side by side, I think they both look very good and they both look very similar. But one difference, I do not know 100% if X-Transbots is going to include the combining parts, but I do know 100% for a fact DX9 will. And DX9 is 150, X-Transbots is 130, so who knows? But this is what these guys look like. Through the power of having your own newsfeed, you can talk about whatever you want. And I want to talk about the fact that Hound, for the Masterpiece Hound, is very close to coming out, but will not make anybody's top 10 or top 20 or top 100 figures of the year because he will not make it by the end of 19 to anybody. Amazon Japan predicts that it'll show up between December 31st, which is no chance, and January 4th. So I'm expecting mine January 9th, by the way. Next, we have Fans Toys Goose, and like I expected, everybody is blown away by this guy because of the aesthetic, the build, the quality, he just looks amazing, the paint, everything about him. But one nice little surprise is the transformation is not ridiculously complex. I have yet to see anybody attempt to put him in his leg mode though. Next, I want to talk about some really decent deals that Shozi is doing. 10% off of a lot of items, which on the MP44 makes them $376. Right around $80, you get Azalea, the MMC Azalea, and she's on Acelia. Right around $80. And for whatever reason, Shozi's putting 10% off of their Zeta Toys ZT-ZBO1, Fireflight. This figure, so let's say you just don't have a Zeta figure, you want to just try it out. So for like $54, plus whatever discounts you get if you're a premium member, you could get this guy just for fun. Or if you need another arm or whatever, great price. I don't really know exactly why this guy's on sale, but he's on sale. And I really think he looks great. Jet mode, bot mode's not probably so much. But if you want to compare this to what Fans Toys is putting out with their Goose, hey, not bad. Half the price of Goose. And yes, not the same character. And for less than $10, shows these selling these MBK versions of the Gravity Builder figures. Now, I was thinking about this, like, why would somebody want to just get one figure of the Gravity Builder? And I was thinking, well, you know what? Maybe you got your Gravity Builder, and this is the 1-to-1 size, I believe. So you might want to check before you order it. But these figures, maybe yours broke, or you're missing a part, or whatever. And for less than $10, so one's like $7 and one's like $9. you could get these figures on sale at Show Z and replace whatever parts you need. And of course, Fans Hobby Minerva isn't out yet, but not on sale. But price is $60 or 59 or whatever. Not a bad price for this figure at all. For those of you Legend collectors, the Iron Factory Hex Wrench, which is their version of Wheeljack, is on sale for like $29. So 3-0 is coming out with a deluxe scale Soundwave and Ravage. And I don't know why they're deluxe scale, but anyway, here it is. Here is the Ravage. Both look really cool. 11.2 inches tall, 80 points of articulation on the Soundwave. So I don't really call that deluxe scale. I call that like leader scale, like old school leader scale, maybe even commander class. But anyway, they don't transform, I don't believe, because they are not actually made by Hasbro or Takara, and they are licensed. So we do have this Ravage, which looks really good, and I'm a huge Ravage fan, so it's going to be hard for me to say no. So we're going to start the Bumblebee movie figures of Optimus Prime with this Trace Toys TTO1 Optimus Prime. He looks good. I don't know if it transforms or not, but it really looks cool. I don't know. This is like the 7th version, and here's the 8th version. We've got the Lemon Tree. Lemon Tree is a new company, and I think Trace Toys was a new company too, entering the realm and making an Optimus Prime. Here he goes in his alt form. I don't know what to make of Lemon Tree. So I've heard some rumors. I've heard rumors that all these new companies coming out making Bumblebee figures are actually old school companies that don't want to reveal that they're G1 companies making the Bumblebee movie or Bayverse movie or any of that kind of stuff because they don't want to lose their fandom. And guess what? That is really smart and would really work well. But they got to come out with a new name, and then everything starts with 01, so it's scary to even buy into it. If you don't know, hey, this is Fans Toys, this is X-Transbots, this is MMC, this is Unique Toys, this is all those, who knows, this is Impossible Toys, iGear. So Lemon Tree's also making their own Starscream, I guess. I guess this is Starscream, or is it Blitzwing? I don't know. Either way, it looks pretty cool. It also is a Tetrajet in, well, as close to Tetrajet style as we're going to be allowed in the live-action movie realm. Can we please be allowed a real, true Tetrajet? No. You're worried I've jumped too deep into movie stuff, but, well, there's not much else out there. Devil Savior has some color pictures of their, whatever this guy is for their Devastator, I don't know, Giant Axe. So Giant Axe Troublemaker here, and here is the semi-robot mode that comes with it. And, you know, I think Devil Savior is going to blow Studio Series out of the water. I mean, I'm not a fan of the design, but I look at the detail and the intricate detail and the paint and how this is so much better than Studio Series. But the price is going to be so much higher than Studio Series. So if you're in for this, you've got to really weigh the options and decide, is this something for you? Now, if I was collecting movie stuff, I'd be more like Oymec, the LS-18 Jazz. Like, I'd be all over this thing. I think it's going to be like $25, $30. I don't have the actual end price, so I'm guessing by looking at what I've seen in the past. And it looks good in both modes. It looks like an exact representation of the Masterpiece. The Masterpiece is worth about $100, or it goes for $100, or something like that, maybe $100 to $115. So to get this for a quarter of the price would be definitely well worth it. So I really got to give it up to Toy World. Toy World is making a Shatter, which we've seen this in Studio Series made as two separate figure because Studio Series could not quite figure out how to make this into a triple changer, and yet Toy World could. So here it is. I think it looks great in all three modes, and I kind of like the alt modes because they're sort of semi-retro, and the bot mode, I think it is really close to what the movie put out. So even better than some of the other figures that, by the way, were not triple changers. They nailed it, and they did all three modes. So good job, Toy World. And, you know, hey, good job, Toy World, without Zeta involved. So we've got some color pictures of Studio Series Roadmaster, and I think it looks okay. I like the color. Of course, anything that's Bayverse that has actual colors on it looks so much better than, well, how it did in the film. Some Legend stuff I didn't talk about last week, and of course we're going to get the Brawn and of course the Outback, and that's going to come as a 2-pack. And this 2-pack that's coming is not priced yet, but it really looks good. I think that, first off, there's not a Brawn in the Legends scale yet. And this Brawn looks great, which almost could rival what Fans Toys is putting out. And if they put some die cast, some paint, you know, they could compete in the Masterpiece scale. Good job, New Age. Next up, I want to really talk about the Magic Square versus New Age versions of Reflector. And in the Legends scale, on the left you see Magic Square, on the right you see New Age, and I think that Magic Square wins, but not by a lot, like barely. In fact, on New Age, I like the lower legs, where it kind of indents to the feet, better than Magic Square. But Magic Square overall, I like the look better, so it's kind of a challenge. The reality is Magic Square actually has physical figures, and we're looking at renders only on New Age so far, so it makes me think that Magic Square is going to come out first and come out of the gate winning. But with these figures, it's going to be tough to tell until you have them in hand, side by side. Now, McFans Toys is going to make a Mozart MCO1, and this is that Mohawk figure from one of the Bay movies, and they're going to make him a Masterpiece one from one of the companies, but this is going to be a Legend scale version, and I think it looks pretty good. There's no paint, and there's not really any way to tell kind of like how it transforms, but it transforms from a motorcycle into a bot, which I gotta say that I commend McFans Toys for making their own molds, and that's I really think that's their end game. Their end game was not to copy any one company forever, but they got a lot of flack for it, but now they're showing what they can do, and it's pretty good. Is this gigantic issue of Hasbro having a warehouse sale in Pennsylvania. Like, who is going to be in Pennsylvania buying up these toys? Why not online? Why not do this super duper clearance? So you got Omega Supreme for $20, and that is ridiculous. That is unprecedented. That is the lowest price that I've ever seen for any Titan class figure ever. But this tells you a whole lot about what's going on in the world and the economy. We are in a recessionary time frame, and the companies and the CEOs know it. And this is a fact that they are selling this stuff so they can maintain their dominance in the toy market. They do not want to let this stuff hit Ollie's. They don't want to let this stuff hit Ross. They don't want to hit TJ Maxx. Even for $40 or $50, they're going to take the hit themselves. By the way, these figures cost them tremendously more than $20 to manufacture. I know you guys think, yeah, it cost $12 to manufacture it and they sell us for $160. No, it costs way more than that in the end when you take into account all of the business factors of it. But the reality is they're taking this hit up front. From a statistical analysis of this situation, it is, well, by the way, it's ridiculous. But they're selling Tatooine skips for $10, which is, 75% off. They're selling so much more stuff at this event than just this Omega Supreme. I'm not ticked off because, well, by the way, I already have a vastly superior version of Omega Supreme, so I view this as maybe a side Omega Supreme to deal with and play with and fiddle with on the side. I don't view it as my main, but a lot of people do. And with that, they're upset because they have to pay $160 or wait a year to get it at Ollie's or Ross or whatever. And I understand all of that, but the reality of this is, so take advantage of the low prices when you see them. That's all I gotta say. Buy them up at dirt cheap at $20. Sliding into some Star Wars news, I found this picture, well, I saw it like 10 times, but anyway, if you decide you want to buy 3 of the Walmart exclusive Jabba the Hutt, Jabba Palace playsets, you can build an entire Jabba Palace, and it looks great. It looks fantastic, by the way. And I might do this myself if I found them cheap enough. They're on clearance right now for like $25 a piece. So you can get the setup for $75 shipped from Walmart.com. But the reality is that this looks good and it's real world. It's not cardboard. It's not backgrounds. And then you get like 2 of each or 3 of each of the carded figures. Maybe sell them off. Who knows? Or just keep them. Because they're exclusive figures also. Since we're talking about deals, I don't know how much longer this is going on, but Amazon right now has this skiff for $25. So I ordered me 2 more. So it's like $50 for 2 more. That's almost the price of one. It's almost half price. So I took advantage of it and had to do it. So if you're watching this early, you can get in on this deal. If you're not watching it early enough, well, I'm sorry. So Walgreens has their exclusive Obi-Wan Clone Commander on sale right now for $15, $14.86 or some nonsense. But if you can catch it in the store, then you can get it because it's sold out online and you can only get it in store. But if you find it in store, snatch it up for a good price. So I want to talk a quick bit about The Rise of Skywalker. And the movie came out, and the first thing I want to say is that everybody that enjoyed the movie left the movie to go to whatever store they went to buy squat diddly. I gotta say, this is the worst supporting of a movie that the Star Wars franchise merchandising has ever done. By the way, George Lucas is probably laughing all day long because if you go to Target, you go to Walmart, you go to anywhere, there's nothing good to buy. By the way. And that is by design. There's too much going on at the same time. Also, I love this movie. I think it's great. I think that J.J. Abrams had an impossible task, so he just did whatever he felt was right. And it works. People that don't like this movie, well, whatever. 30 years from now, who cares? But the reality of this is that it's a good movie for what it was, for the reason that J.J. Abrams should have stayed in charge of the whole trilogy, not jump in and out of it like he did. And I don't really hate Rian Johnson for Last Jedi, so it is what it is. Now, with that, there's no spoilers. So if you haven't seen it yet, I still think it's good. I recommend it. If you want me to do a whole synopsis of the whole film, I could do that too. But, it's a good movie. So anyway, let me know what you think if you saw this movie. Let me know what you think about Star Wars, Transformer movies, or news that I missed. And hey, I like to learn stuff that, flew by me. So let me know. Like, subscribe, and Ty Hanger out.